So, Caitlin Clark is officially ruled out for Sunday's game. I want to make a longer video talking about this right here, the full statement from Caitlin Clark, but answered it in the literal most perfect way possible. I don't think Caitlin Clark could have answered that question or could have said it in a more perfect way. I really don't. And she immediately she said it before being asked any questions so that she can control the narrative, so that she's not she didn't have to go and answer a question which was essentially framing her as the devil. But first of all, one of the more important things for the basketball part of it is this:
back into practice today, and then feeling a lot better, excited to get back into practice today, and then feeling really positive about getting back into one of the games at the back-to-back. Obviously difficult coming back in a back-to-back, so we'll have to be cautious. This week has been very helpful for my overall health. So other than that, if you guys have any questions, I know I kind of just ranted for a while.
Caitlin went on like a 5 minute long like thing talking herself, but I said here, it's a great sign. She says she's feeling really positive about returning one of the games to back-to-back. We know the back-to-back is the Sparks, who are a bad team, and the Mercury. She's not going to come back for the Mercury. She's not going to play the Mercury game. Like, she basically, as good as said, she's not playing the back-to-back. Geez, the wings. The ace is without Asia. But it is a very interesting one here. But no long-term risk for the injury. It says let's not bring her back for the Phoenix for her first game. That's not gonna happen. Let's be very clear. Like, she's smart about this whole thing. First of all, like, let's be honest. Stephanie White has coached Alyssa Thomas. They know who Alyssa Thomas is. It well and truly is a thing where it's like for her.
Welcome back to WNBA Trends. Caitlin Clark's been ruled out for Sunday's game against Phoenix, and yeah, everyone saw the plantar fascia injury news. But what actually happened in that press conference? That was something else entirely. She didn't wait for reporters to control the story. She came out and made a 5-minute statement before taking a single question. No defensiveness, no apologies, just complete media dominance. And that tells you everything about what she learned last season when she got physically beaten up and nobody in the league seemed to care. That's not rookie behavior anymore. That's calculated strategy. Here's what she actually said between the lines, though. She's feeling really positive about getting back into one of the games during the back-to-back. One, not both. She's targeting the Sparks on Wednesday. She's sitting Phoenix on Sunday. And before you think that's just the medical staff being cautious, understand what Phoenix represents in the situation. Phoenix's game is in a hostile environment. It's the first game of a physical back-to-back. It's against a Mercury team with nothing to lose and everything to prove. And Alyssa Thomas, she's aggressive. She plays right up to the line, sometimes over it. Coming back from a foot injury into that specific matchup would be reckless. But the Sparks game on Wednesday? That's completely different. Home game at Gainbridge, 3 extra days of rest, and here's the thing nobody's focusing on: the matchup itself. The Fever are going to see Chance Gray and Cheyenne Parker on defense, not the physical wings Phoenix throws at her. It's a soft landing. It's exactly what you need when managing an injury that kept you out for over a week. This is Stephanie White's influence showing up in real time. White coached Alyssa Thomas in Connecticut. She knows that organization's physicality. She knows what the Mercury will do. And after everything Clark dealt with last season, the Chennedy Carter incident, the physical play the league just ignored, do you think White's throwing her franchise player into that environment before she's completely healthy?
Ariel Atkins, maybe not. Ariel Atkins probably taking Kelsey Mitchell, and Erica Wheeler, and Jiyoung Park. Is Jiyoung Park? Is that her first name? But Park. Like, she's going to have piss-take matchups. Like, she's just going to be out there cooking. She could sleepwalk to 20 and 10. She could absolutely sleepwalk to 20-10. But that's the big thing. Is that what you kind of want? The only thing is, though, is that obviously, look, if Caitlin Clark is like, it's on her that she's not feeling 100%, and after last season, I don't think her and I don't think the Fever organization, I don't think both sides are going to want Caitlin to play unless she's 100%, because last year she played at 60-70%, and the Fever were, I'm not going to say they were worse with her, because they weren't, but like, she had her worst season, and not only did she have her worst season, the Fever were just were kind of screwed in the playoffs, because let's be honest, like, you can dogfight your way to a win in a best of 3 series. You're not going to dogfight your way to a win in a best of 5 series, because look, I'm going to be honest, the Fever are making the playoffs, but they're not going to be a high seed. They're just not. They are in the bracket of the Dream and the Wings. None of those teams can put together 4 quarters of good basketball. It doesn't really matter who they're against. It doesn't matter whether Caitlin Clark's there or not. It doesn't really matter. Neither of these teams, like, none of those 3 teams can put together 4 quarters of good basketball. They can put together a quarter where they look like the best team in the league. All of them on Wednesday. So 2 weeks out. That's a good one. 2 weeks out, come back for the Wednesday game, and then go and play on Saturday as well. Like, that's kind of what you want to see. Go play Wednesday, go play Saturday, and then I think is the following Wednesday or something that they play again. I just need to see their schedule. When are their games? So they play on Sunday. They play Sunday, then they play Wednesday, then they play Thursday, then they play Sunday, and then they play Wednesday. So, like, playing 2 games, going and playing.
That tells you something important about how you should view this season. This isn't a championship run. This is a development year. It's about getting Clark through a full season healthy. It's about developing chemistry with White's system. It's about building an identity that carries into next year when the roster can actually compete. Because here's the reality. If the Fever push too hard right now and Clark gets seriously injured, that compromises the next 5 years of the franchise. One playoff game isn't worth that risk. And Stephanie White understands that in a way the front office clearly didn't understand it last season. Think about how the Fever have operated historically. This franchise has been a punchline. Terrible draft decisions, coaches hired and fired with no clear plan, no sustainable success despite being in a major market with strong fan support. Then they luck into the #1 pick, and suddenly they have generational talent. The question was always going to be, can they handle this properly? Last season said no. They started Clark in all 40 games despite obvious fatigue. They didn't adjust their offense until halfway through the season. They didn't protect her from physical play. It was malpractice. This season is different. White came in with a clear vision. She's not trying to win every regular season game. She's building something sustainable over 5 to 7 years. Part of that vision is treating Clark like the generational talent she is, which means not burning her out in June when the games that matter happen in September. The decision to sit Phoenix and target the Sparks tells you everything about how this organization is thinking now. They're not reacting emotionally. They're planning strategically around the entire season. They know Phoenix is tough and physical in a hostile environment. They know the Sparks are struggling at home defensively. They know there's an all-star break coming that provides natural recovery time, so they're optimizing around all those factors instead of just throwing her out there. And they let Clark control the narrative by making that statement first. That's not amateur hour, that's organizational coordination. Now, when she does come back against LA, this is an ideal scenario. The Sparks don't have the personnel to really bother her. Rae Burrell is their best perimeter defender, and she's not in the conversation with the elite wing defenders in this league. Rakuna Williams is a rookie still learning rotations. The Sparks want to speed the game up and turn it into a track meet, which actually plays into Clark's strengths. She can push in transition, she can find shooters in space, she doesn't have to grind through half-court sets against physical defenders. It's the perfect re-entry game. She plays 25 to 28 minutes. Tests the foot in game situations without facing maximum defensive pressure. Builds rhythm and confidence going into that Thursday-Sunday back-to-back. If the foot responds well, she plays both games. If there's any soreness, they consider sitting one, and she still gets the all-star break to recover. That's risk management at its finest. But here's what this really reveals about franchise direction. For years, the Fever have made roster decisions like they didn't believe in their draft picks. They'd hit on Clark, one of the greatest college players ever, and then surround her with complementary pieces that don't actually complement anything. They need a legitimate second option who can create her own shot. They need another wing defender so Clark doesn't have to chase elite scorers for 40 minutes. They need veteran playoff experience. The good news is Clark's rookie contract is a massive advantage. She's making roughly $600,000 this season while delivering MVP-level production. That surplus value gives the Fever financial flexibility other teams don't have. They can sign a max free agent. They can take on salary and trades. They can be aggressive in ways capped-out teams can't. But that window only lasts 4 years. After that, Clark gets her extension, the cap tightens, and roster construction becomes much harder. So the front office basically has 4 years to build something championship level around her or risk wasting the most talented player they'll ever have access to. This season is about proving they understand that window. It's about showing that last year's dysfunction was an aberration, not the organization's true nature. Sitting out Phoenix and targeting the Sparks proves they're thinking strategically. It proves the medical staff is being appropriately cautious. It proves they're controlling the narrative instead of letting it control them. Those are all positive signs. The real test comes in the off-season, though. Will they make the aggressive moves to put championship-level talent around Clark? Will they prioritize fit and complementary skills? Will they build a defensive identity that can compete with the elite teams? Or will they just chase names and fall back into old habits? Those questions determine whether the Fever become a perennial contender or just another franchise that wasted a generational talent. For now, though, this decision is exactly right. It prioritizes long-term health over short-term results. It gives Clark the best possible environment to return to form. And it sends a message to the rest of the league that the Fever are finally thinking strategically instead of desperately. That's organizational maturity. When Clark gets back on the floor Wednesday night, watch how she moves. Is she hesitating on cuts or planting confidently? How is the coaching staff managing her minutes? Those details tell you whether this organization has really turned a corner. In a league where the margin between contending and rebuilding is razor thin, those details matter more than any single regular season game ever could. That's what's really happening here.